Hi friends and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello. My name's George Ackenbar and I'm a UK music producer. Today's video is all about phase. Well, a brief overview of phase. It can sometimes get complicated, and so today we're going to keep it really simple. So if you want to learn how to avoid, solve and look out for phasing issues in your mixes, make sure you stay tuned and hit the subscribe button and notification bell for new videos every Wednesday.
And things will never be the same when I hear your name since you kissed me in the rain.
Phase is essentially the timing difference between two different waveforms. It's the relationship of the difference in corresponding peaks and troughs in two different waves. So today we're going to be having a look at what causes phase, why we need to worry about it, how to avoid it when we're recording, how to hear phasing issues in our mixes, and how we can fix these phasing issues when we're already in the mixing stage. The most common cause of phasing issues is when we record a single sound source using two or more microphones or recording inputs. So if we use a pair of stereo microphones to record an acoustic guitar, or if we record a bass using a microphone and also DI it. This is because there will be different sound waves of different frequencies reaching the input channels or the microphones at different times. And this really increases the chances of a peak lining up with a trough and the waves cancelling each other out and being out of phase. So basically, the more microphones you use to record a single sound, the higher your chances are of experiencing phasing issues. So be really, really careful when you're recording a drum kit. In production, we need to worry about phase when we have two or more recorded audio signals. If the amplitude peaks and troughs of the two waveforms are aligned perfectly, then we describe these waves as being in phase, and we don't need to worry, there's not an issue. If they're not, we call this being out of phase, and this is where we can run into some problems. For example, if an amplitude peak of one wave aligns perfectly with the trough of the other, the two waves will cancel each other out completely and we'll get silence, and that's far from ideal. In less extreme cases, the misalignments of the wave will cause frequencies to either be boosted or reduced, and that means that we'll have a change in our audio and the way it sounds, which isn't what we want. Let's just listen to an example quickly of audio being in and out of phase so we can hear the difference between the two. I just wanted to show you the frequency graphs of tracks in and out of phase. The top graph is the frequencies when the tracks are in phase, and below is out of phase. You can see that the bottom graph has significantly less frequencies in certain places due to phase cancellation, and that's why we need to worry about phase. This is a lot less of a common problem, but I thought it was worth quickly mentioning. Your electrical kit can also be out of phase. For example, if your speakers are wired backwards, the sound they produce can be 180 degrees out of phase. And you can tell if your speakers are out of phase because you'll hear little to no bass frequencies being produced by them. So luckily there are ways and techniques that we can use to almost ensure that we won't experience phasing issues when we're recording. These are like using microphone placement rules, like the 3-to-1 mic placement rule, and the XY positioning when using a stereo pair of microphones. Now, I'm not going to go into these today, but I'll leave links in the description to describe each of these techniques. If you also notice that you're experiencing phasing issues when you're recording, you can try inverting the phase either on your microphone or on your input channel. But if you can't do this, as a last resort, you can just try changing the microphone position, but this is really far from ideal, and we can sort out phasing in the mixing stage, don't forget. If you suspect that two of your tracks are out of phase but can't be too sure, then don't worry, we can check. There are plugins that you can use to do this, such as the correlation meter in Logic. Or if you don't want to use a plugin, or you can't use a plugin, we can also use our ears. The easiest way I find to check if two tracks are out of phase is to pan one track hard left and the other hard right and listen to it. I then change the mix into mono, and I listen to see whether either of the tracks have changed in tone or lost any body. And if they have, I know that the tracks probably are out of phase. So let's have a look at how we can fix this. Okay, so say you didn't notice or you couldn't fix the problem when you were recording, and now you have a mix with two tracks that are out of phase. Not ideal, right? But not the end of the world, because there are 3 different ways that we can easily and quickly solve this problem. Firstly, and possibly the most simple way, is to just invert the phase of the track. We do this by loading up the Gain plugin and clicking the phase invert button. That's literally all you have to do. Secondly, you can simply move the waveform along so the peaks and troughs no longer align. Even a few milliseconds can make a huge difference. The easiest way to do this in Logic is to press this button at the top and look at the nudge button. The arrow either side determines the direction the track moves in, and the value in the middle determines by how much. You can change this value by clicking in the middle and you'll see this menu appear. You then just choose the value. And finally, we can use phase alignment plugins to fix this. Now personally, I haven't used any of these plugins, so I can't speak about my experience with them. However, I have heard really good things about the Waves plugin and about Auto Align. So that's my brief overview of phase, an important issue to be aware of that's relevant to all producers and engineers. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and interesting. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and if there are any other videos you'd like to see in the future. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and I will see you again soon.